Welcome to the online training for the Monroe County Employee Workers' Compensation Resource Guide. It's designed as a quick, easy reference for employees. Once completed, you'll know what to do if you're injured on the job, how to file a workers' comp claim, how to get treatment, and where to get treatment. You'll also learn about your rights and responsibilities under the Florida Workers' Comp Law. Most importantly, you'll learn who to call for assistance when needed. So let's get started. In the event of an emergency, call 911. For an injury or illness in the workplace that's not an emergency, call the Monroe County Injury Helpline at 305-292-4507 and report it to your supervisor. All injuries or illnesses must be reported as soon as possible and no later than 24 hours of the incident, or fines and penalties may be imposed by the state or the claim denied. Then what do I do? Employees must be treated by a workers' comp authorized physician. Workers' comp cannot authorize any other physician. The treatment authorization must be signed by the workers' comp office before treatment is rendered. The workers' comp office will provide the employee with an authorization form for treatment to take to the authorized physician. Workers' comp has its own prescription plan. Do not use the regular VOCC prescription card. Show the pharmacy the copy of the first report of injury or illness and tell the pharmacy that this is work-related. They may ask for your BIN number, carrier number, group number, and ASCFF. Return the original first report of injury or illness form filled out and signed. It must be returned to the workers' comp office as soon as possible at courier stop number 1, Gatto Building. Then what do I do continued? 1. Complete the accident incident investigation report as required and all first report of injury or illness is reported. 2. The workers' comp office must authorize additional medical services like labs, x-rays, testing, specialists, and follow-up before appointments can be scheduled and or services provided. 3. The workers' comp office will inform the supervisor of the employee's work status following the injury and coordinate work restrictions and or light duty if necessary. Work status. The physician may provide you with a DWC-25. This form will give you, your employer, and your carrier information regarding your medical status, management and treatment plan, functional limitations and restrictions, maximum medical improvement and permanent impairment rating, and follow-up visits. After each visit, be sure to provide your employer with a copy of the DWC-25 and or return to work form. If you're released to return to work with restrictions, ask your supervisor if there's light duty available. What are your benefits under Florida's workers' compensation system? Medical benefits. Medically necessary treatment, care, and attendance for such a period as the nature of the injury or process of recovery may require. This includes medication, medical supplies, durable medical equipment, and prosthetics. Healthcare providers who provide services other than emergency care must receive authorization from the employer or insurance carrier before providing treatment. Your work-related injury must be the major contributing cause for medical treatment and must remain such to continue medical treatment. You are entitled to an independent medical examination, which may be at your expense. You are entitled to a one-time change of physician during treatment for any one accident. When your treating physician determines you have reached MMI, maximum medical improvement, you will be required to pay a $10 per visit copayment for medical services if you choose to return once MMI has been reached. Disability benefits. A claim does not become lost time until an employee has lost more than 7 days from work. Temporary total disability, or TTD. When an employee is placed on no work status, they are entitled to 66% of their average weekly wage, or AWW. This calculation is used based on an average of the gross wages from 13 weeks prior to the injury. Temporary partial disability, or TPD. When the employee is working light duty but the restrictions are unable to be accommodated, they are entitled to 64% of their AWW. If the employee is working light duty and is not earning at least 80% of their pre-injury wages, they may be entitled to benefits. Please have them contact their adjuster. Impairment benefits, or IB. Once the employee is placed at maximum medical improvement and given an impairment rating If they are given an impairment rating of 1% or higher from the doctor, they will be owed compensation. The benefit amount is dependent on the percentage given and if they are working. Follow-up care. Whenever possible, the employee should try to schedule doctor's appointments so minimal time is taken away from work. The employee will continue to treat until they are placed at maximum medical improvement, MMI. MMI occurs when the treating physician determines that the employee's injury has healed to the extent that further improvement is not likely. If the employee would like to treat with the doctor after they are placed at MMI, there will likely be a $10 copayment. The employee is sent a letter that explains this in detail. There is a statute of limitations on medical treatment. The employee has 2 years from the date of injury to receive treatment. Once that time has passed, they have 1 year from the last date of medical treatment to receive further care. How are monetary benefits calculated? Monetary benefits are paid every 2 weeks and are based on a percentage of your average weekly wage up to the maximum weekly benefit. If you were injured on or after October 1st, 2003, and you worked in the same employment in which you were working on the date of the accident, your average weekly wage is 1/13 of the total amount of wages you earned in such employment during the 13 weeks prior to your injury, not counting the week in which you were injured. If you have been released to return to work on light duty or limited duty, and earning less than 80% of your average weekly wage and the salary, wages, and other remunerations you are able to earn post-injury as compared weekly. However, weekly benefits may not exceed 66 2/3% of your average weekly wage at the time of accident. If you are receiving Social Security disability benefits in addition to workers' compensation, an offset or reduction in your workers' compensation check may be applied because the law states that the two combined may not exceed 80% of your average weekly wage earned prior to your injury. If you are receiving Social Security retirement, 42 U.S.C. 402, benefits at the time of your injury, your Social Security retirement benefits will not be affected by workers' compensation. Your workers' compensation benefits will be determined by your average weekly wage only from your employer and any other concurrent employment. Suggestions for making your claim go more smoothly. Communicating with the insurance adjuster. Communicate. Communicate in a positive manner. Let the adjuster know your goal is to recover from the workplace injury and return to work. Keep informed. Keep the adjuster for your claim informed of any address or phone number changes. Notify of return. Notify the adjuster immediately when you return to work or when you are placed off work due to the injury. Notify of changes. If you change or cancel a doctor's appointment, notify the adjuster immediately. The doctor's office may not notify the adjuster or case manager of your change in appointment date or failure to keep an appointment. Obtain. If you have access to email, obtain the adjuster's email address and use it if he or she prefers email for communication. Communicating with your employer. Communicate frequently with your employer. Notify your employer of your return to work status, work restrictions, and medical treatment plan after your doctor visit. If you are off work, tell your employer when the doctor anticipates you will be able to return to work. If you receive restrictions for returning to work from your doctor, for example, light duty, ask your employer if they will accommodate those restrictions and allow you to return to work. When you return to work, try to schedule your doctor's appointment so you take minimal time away from your job. Let your employer know if you are having difficulty obtaining authorization for medical treatment from the adjuster. Successful physician or healthcare provider visits. Be on time for your appointments. Give your physician or healthcare provider as much advance notice as possible if you need to cancel your appointment. Have the carrier and adjuster's name, address, telephone, and fax numbers and your claim number available. Take these with you to all your appointments. It is very important to provide a complete description of how your injury occurred and all your body parts affected. An incomplete record can affect your claim and benefits later. Let your doctor know your symptoms are improving, worsening, or are the same. Be thorough. Give your complete medical history, current status, and list of current medications for your related and non-work-related conditions. Take a list of all medications you take to the doctor visit, including medications for your non-work-related conditions. Be prepared. Have a list of any questions or concerns you would like to discuss with your doctor. Ask how long it will take to recover from your injury and when you return to work, both with and without restrictions. Successful physician or healthcare provider visits. 1. Ask about alternative or less invasive treatment options. 2. Follow your doctor's treatment plan. 3. If your doctor gives you prescriptions for procedures, medications, or referrals, ask your doctor's office to fax the prescription to the adjuster. Have the adjuster's fax number with you. 4. Ask for a copy of the Florida Workers' Compensation Uniform Medical Treatment Status Reporting Form, Form DFS F5 DWC 25, following your visit or your return to work form, completed by your physician.